great, but have you tried blank? And the other one says, do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against blank. Which is actually a Robert Frost, I believe. That's Rage, rage against the dying of the light. But I just thought I'd maybe read off a couple of these kind of real quick.
Oh, so isn't there like a counter one that you add to it, or like it finishes the sentence?
Probably. I think you're supposed to have a few ripping for these, but
yeah, you can choose like a couple different possibilities.
Yeah.
As far as combinations of.
Okay. Here, sure, sex is great, but have you tried watching the life drain from the eyes of my son's killer?
Ooh.
War with China. Yeah, that was a dark morbid start right there. Jesus Christ. War with China, the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing. Sure, sex is great, but have you tried the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing? Oh, uncomfortable. Oh, Christ. The bomb strapped to my chest. Let's see here. Delighting in the pain of others, also known as Schadenfreude. How good this cantaloupe feels on my penis. 3 hours of pimple popping videos. You ever watch any one of those?
No.
Oh, dude.
Oh, yeah, I guess I have seen where people are squeezing pus out of, like, fucking cysts and
carbuncles
like
and shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like when they pull fucking bot flies out of people and animals. You ever seen that shit?
Yeah, there's some nasty shit.
Fucking gnarly, dude. Pulling huge cockroaches out of the inside of people's ear and shit. Like, I don't know how that.
Fuck bugs.
Yeah, I don't know how they got in there like that, but whatever it was, it's because you live like a fucking ape. Jesus Christ. Sorry, but not sorry.
Yeah, there's got to be a certain amount of sanitation that occurs.
The unspeakable horrors of factory farming. Unwelcome sexual attention from grown men. A pointless job at a soulless corporation.
No, what you're supposed to do is, say you take like 4 or 5 cards.
Of the white ones?
I don't know. Does they have the rules on it?
No, man. It's just fucking, here you go. It's like I said, it's just
what you're supposed to do is you have, like, X amount of people playing. If I recall, I only played it once. And you have like a handful of cards. I forget how many. And maybe someone draws a card, and you add a card to finish the sentence. And then everybody kind of votes. You can't vote for your own card. Everybody votes on which one they like the best that finishes the sentence. And then you get a point, if I recall.
I see.
So you have the main card that starts the sentence, and then you have all the cards that finish the sentence, so you just add them, or something like that.
Something like that.
I don't know. Yeah. So it's like it can be these whacked out combinations, but they always like somehow run together, and it's just some of the most fucked up shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, just looking over the options, just that there are in these white cards, and just this little expansion pack mini thing. It's like, Jesus Christ. There's a sucking all the oil out of the planet and fucking off to Mars. There's a cousin to this. There's like a knockoff game to this called Cringeworthy. I saw it earlier today. It's just like awkward situations and shit. And I'm just like, oh, you mean Cards Against Humanity? I always got to be biting off the fucking successful ones, you know.
Well, awkward situations, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's called cringeworthy. I'm like, what the fuck? You're just trying to bite on Cards Against Humanity, bitch.
No.
Whatever. So what's going on, man?
Hey,
Where are you at? What's happening? Who's or what's this?
I like putting the mic right up to my mouth. That way
it projects
loud
the best.
enough.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. But here I am.
Here I am again on my own. Been down this lonely road. I walk alone. Or whatever the fuck.
I know you got some White Snake on your iPod.
Oh, Christ, I probably do. That's probably the sad truth of it.
The greatest hits.
More. I'm once bitten, twice shy. I did put some. Remember when we did the Bossa Nova? I was looking for Antonio Carlos Jobim on my iPod. I'm like, I know I have them. I found the disc. I hadn't put it on my iPod out of all my fucking discs. The
Ipanema?
It didn't have Ipanema on it. It has all these other things though. I mean, but I did download it and I did get it onto my iPod. Some Jobim. I felt like an uncultured swine for not being able to fucking present some of that shit. Hold on a second. Let me see if I have it. Bet you I probably fucking do. That's the sad part. Like a homo. What's that? What's the name of it?
The girl from Ipanema?
No. Mama, Great White.
Is that Great White or White Snake? Great White?
Oh, White Snake. We were talking about White Snake, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank Christ.
White Snake. That's so gay.
What's okay about it, man? The white stripes, white zombie.
No, he's got a white snake in his pants.
Yeah. Well, fucking thank Christ. It doesn't show up on my artist list.
Yeah, he's got his tight pants on so you can see his white snake bulging.
In the still of the night! Yeah! Oh, yeah! There's like this breakdown part of that song where it's supposed to be like steamy. Oh, yeah! And it's just like
with the violin or the It's pretty cool, but it's like yeah, you can tell they were like heavily influenced by Led Zeppelin.
Oh, for Christ's sake, man! Coverdale is a fucking Robert Plant clone, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Except though, probably technically, maybe a slightly more honed singer overall than Robert Plant.
Yeah, more technical.
Yeah, man. I mean, he was on point. And he was hitting that. Yeah! I mean, he was doing that shit.
Yeah, but that's like that butt rock of the 80s.
Oh, totally, man. Totally. But that's a specific skill set. And that's like operatic. It's like operatic
Remember
range.
the band, I don't know, is it Dokken or Dokken?
Dokken. Don Dokken?
Yeah. Talk about some butt rock, right?
Oh, yeah, dude. That's that greasy level of weird shit that I could never really get into it. Like
yeah, it's
Rat.
like technical.
Yeah.
And the videos are pretty well produced, but it's just...
It's like loud and dumb and shit. I just loud as in crazy hair and these over the top outfits of like weirdness and rip this.
Yeah,
and
I was watching this one video recently because I talked to this guy, right? I worked for this guy, and he had all like these butt rock guitars like all over his house. He like collected them, like the V guitars with the crazy prints and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I asked him what he'd like to play, and he's like Dokken is one of my go-tos, you know. And I'm like, Dokken. I was like, damn, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. Like, you mean that butt rock shit?
I totally forgot about it, but it's like, once he said it, I was like, oh yeah. It's like, and so I watched a couple videos when I went home, and there's this one with Freddy Krueger, and Freddy Krueger at the end, he's like, he's like, stop. He's like, I can't take it, or something.
Dream Warriors! No! They did like the theme song, I think, or some shit.
Yeah.
We're the Dream Warriors! Nightmare on Elm Street 3, I believe. Dream Warriors.
Oh, so you followed these guys, I see.
Oh, fuck off. No, I was alive then, and I was a couple years older than you, and so I fucking had to be subject to knowing stupid shit like Dokken was doing Dream Warriors.
MTV, and it's like,
yeah. I mean, you couldn't fucking avoid it. You were assaulted by this shit. Big dumb hair and shit, looking like bitches and shit. You're like, what the fuck is this? And then you think back, you're like, yeah, well, Judas Priest, okay, well, they're trying to... Well, turns out, old Halford was the fucking riding the lightning. Oh, boy. So, he wasn't exactly the most testosterone.
I always like that song, Breaking the Law, Breaking the Law, Breaking the Law.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And that cop, he like grabs like a wooden guitar, like cut out, and he's like jamming on it.
Oh,
you know
yes,
what I'm talking about?
I know. Yes, I've seen the fucking stupid shit. It's like cardboard. He's like, oh yeah, and he's just flapping around. He looks just retarded and shit. Lowest fucking budget shit possible. Yeah, some garbage. That and like
breaking the law.
Yeah, that and like hot rockin'. I wanna go, hot rockin'. And the video is like these sauna rocks, close-ups, and they're just throwing water on it and it's like steaming. I mean, it's really homoerotic. Jesus Christ, with all the studded leather boy shit, you know. And my brother was a huge Judas Priest fan. Loved him. All this shit. All these years. Yeah. Years later, he comes. We got onto the subject, and he's just like, yeah, you know, I didn't know for the longest time. I just never even thought about it, and I never would have thought that, you know, Rob Halford. I'm like, really? I'm like, I was fucking 10 looking at this, going, this guy's gay as hell, man. Holy shit.
Yeah, straight up Mabu, right?
Oh, dude, breaking the law. If you don't see it in that video, you have missed the entire fucking boat on that shit.
All those bands, I mean, they all dressed like bitches back then.
But he flailed around with T-Rex arms. I mean, it was just, not to be disparaging, but it was very apparent, to me at least. And
yeah, he was like the, what do they call him?
The Mahu?
No, those clubs they had in like Boys Town where they all dressed in leather and fucking studded jackets and what do they call them? The Oyster Club or the
Blue Oyster Bar?
Yeah, Blue Oyster Bar.
Yeah, the leather clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Studded leather. It's so masculine.
Dude, I was talking to Pickles. Mr. Pickles.
Yeah, tickle my pickle.
Yeah, and he's like, dude, we started talking about George, right? And he's like, when I was in Georgia, staying at their place for a couple days, he's like, yeah, you know, George was pretty cool and all, but, you know, this one night, we went downtown Chicago, you know, and I'd never, you know, experienced anything like that up until that point, you know, and it was like, we ended up at like this gay bar, and you know, and he's like, man, it really blew my mind, you know. He's like, yeah, I didn't realize George, you know, was into that. And I was like, oh yeah, it's like, you know, it's fucking George, and you know, he took him to like one of these full on gay bars, and Pickles is just fucking tripping out.
Yeah,
like,
surprise! You're like, what? Why are we here?
like,
You had something to ask me. You should have asked me before we got here. Jesus.
So